So I'm just recording the session. Okay, so I'll just start now. So in previous session, we discussed like to write any recursive function, we have to write 3 steps, right? You guys must remember, like if you have attended previous class. So the first step was define the hypothesis, right? The first step was define hypothesis.
Manish, your screen is not visible.
Okay, let me share, I think. Okay, thank you, Yash. Yeah. So first step is always define hypothesis, right? The second step is write induction. And the third step is write base condition, okay? Or terminating condition that we have already discussed, right? In the previous session. So in this class, what we are going to do, I have very simple example, okay? I got one web link there. I found very simple example for writing recursive code, okay? So what we are going to do is we are going to just try at least 6 7 of this, okay, so that we'll get confidence. And after that we'll do one bit complex among this recursion only. So in recursion only, lot of concepts come, even many of the dynamic programming problem, many of the backtracking problem, many of the divide and conquer algorithm can be solved using the recursion. So here what we are going to, we are starting with the basic thing. The reason was like we were facing difficulty writing the recursive code for traversal tree thing, right? But here all are very simple, and we'll start with one. So the first one is given n of one or more, return the factorial of n, which is n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 into 1. Okay, so this is the problem. You have given some number 3, let's say some number 3, you need to give the factorial of 3. So every one of you must be knowing, so factorial of 3 is 3 into 2 into 1 till 1. Factorial of n is equal to n into n minus 1 into n minus 2 till it reaches to 1. Right? So this is the factorial. Okay, so let's write the first step, okay? Hypothesis. How we can write the hypothesis? Okay, the first step is writing hypothesis. So my hypothesis can be, so let's say someone asked me to write factorial of 10, okay? So can I write 10 factorial is equal to 10 into 9 factorial, okay? So if someone asks me to write 9 factorial, so can I write 9 into 8 factorial? Okay. If someone asks me to write 8 factorial, I can write 8 into 7 factorial. So what pattern I see here is, so I can write something, some hypothesis like this: 10 or n is equal to n into n minus 1 factorial, right? So this is the hypothesis. Okay, no, sorry. I just messed up. Just 1 second. So this is actually induction step. So hypothesis is, so if you remember earlier, so writing it correctly. So here to write some factorial of something, we can write what we can say 10 into 10 minus 1 factorial. Okay, so the problem is like this. I know what is the factorial of 10. Okay, what is the factorial of 10? So let's say factorial of 10 is x. Okay, or factorial of 10 is 10 into 9 into 8 into 7 into till 1. What is factorial of 9? So its factorial is 9 into 8 into 7 into 6 into 1. What is factorial of 8? So it's like this. So this is actually hypothesis. So if you see it, so it's very simple. Whatever the value you're calculating, it's that number will be multiplied by all less than that number. So 8 factorial will be 8 into 7 into 6 till 1, right? So this is the hypothesis. Okay, so I got the hypothesis. So if I have to write some fact function, okay, so fact of n, I can call fact of n minus 1. So if I know, if I have to calculate 10 factorial, so if I have to calculate the 10 factorial, if I get the 9 factorial, then if I just multiply it with 10, then I'll get the factorial of 10. Okay, so I need to calculate the value of 10 factorial, I need to calculate fact of n minus 1. Okay, so this is my function. That's fine, the function is good. Okay, so this is my hypothesis. Fact of n is equal to and inside that it will be calling n minus 1 anytime. So that's fine. But as part of the induction step, so once I calculate the value of 9 factorial, so I have to multiply it with n, right? So somewhere I need to multiply n. Let's say this value is equal to r. Okay, n into r. Okay, and this I will be return n into r. So this is my induction. Okay, so once I got the factorial of 9, I will just multiply with that number. Okay, so this is my induction step. Okay, so induction is also done, hypothesis is also done. The next part is base condition. So base condition, I know 1 factorial is equal to 1. There is nothing something like 1 factorial is equal to 1 into 0. So that is the terminating condition, right? You know it. So you can write, if n is equal to 1, you can directly return 1, right? So that's it. Or maybe here you have to declare this variable int r, and it will be calculated the factorial of a number. I hope it makes sense to everyone, right? Or any question? Any question?
No, sir.
Everyone good? So just do one thing. Try to write code in your laptop so that you will get confidence. Just write the code for this factorial only. You have 5 minutes. You can write. I think I have already explained, so you can write it easily. Please.
Done, sir.
Okay. Please let me know if done. Okay. Kapil did it. That's good. Prabhakar, Shubham, Sumit. Yes. Yes, Sumit, Shubham. Are you guys with your laptop or just listening?
Manish, I'm doing.
Okay. Prabhakar, I think it's first class for you, right?
Yes, Manish.
Okay.
Okay.
So you have basic
So you have
understanding
basic understanding.
of,
Sorry.
I'm not sure why
I'm not
it's
sure
equal.
why it
Just mute yourself.
just mute yourself.
Hello. Now I think it's not echoing. So are you connected with two devices or what is the case? Okay. Let me know like if you face any difficulty. So if you have basic understanding of Java and you have some, uh, you have did some basic problem solving in Java, then I think you will catch up. Okay. That's fine, Prabhakar. Like here we are covering in Java. So if you know C Sharp, then you can catch up. Okay. Yes, he's very happy. He got one partner.
Yes, Manish. I'm very happy. Like at least now one C sharp.
Okay. So guys, like now again we have few pattern. Okay, I think everyone must have done it. So I don't see it's any difficulties there. Okay, still I can see there are a lot of improvement that is possible. Okay, so this is the common simple program fact int n. If n is equal to 1, then return 1. If otherwise, you will be doing r is equal to n into fact of n minus 1. So if you are writing this way, so actually you are declaring this r variable n time, right? So you can avoid this by just doing like this.
Manish, you're trying to tell for every call we are assigning int
Correct.
variable.
Yes.
Int n.
Yes. You are
Yeah.
declaring and assigning value, right? For every call, because the
Okay.
function will be called again and again, right?
Yes, Manish.
So if it is possible, then you can try avoiding that and you can directly return n into fact of n minus 1. Do you see any problem? There is no any problem, right? Nothing. So that r variable won't be declared n time. That is one benefit. Okay. Many people, so if you understand coding properly, even for the if clause there are pattern. So one person write this way: if n is equal to 1, return 1, else I'll write this. So is there any difference? So output will this one will be also giving correct output only, but do you see any difference?
No, ma'am.
For this particular function, okay, for this particular function, I don't see any difference. Okay, but some place there will be difference between this if block and directly writing into this. So this is like this part of the code will be only executed if n is equal to 1, or otherwise, and this part of the code will be always executed. This part of the code will be always executed even though n is equal to 1. No, this part of the code will be executed even though n is equal to 1 if return statement is not written, because here I have written return statement. So what will happen? So once n is equal to 1, the execution terminates and it will be out of the function. So this part of the code will not be executed. Suppose if n is equal to 1, and here let's say I write print or SOP. And here also I am writing something like this. Okay, and here let's say just call fact of 5. So I think everyone must be having the understanding of this one. Okay. Done. So two things here. Let's see first how it is working. Okay, and we'll modify it further. What you can see, 1 1 2 3 4. Okay, or let me write it before this one. So 4 3 2 1 1. Okay, why 1 is printed twice? Anyone can explain? Or okay, do this. -1. So yes, now tell me, if I run this one, then it will be 1 is printed twice and 5 is not getting printed. Why 5 is not getting printed? So try to understand, just try to understand the construct. Okay, so it's here, it's not kind of very logical thing what I am doing, but try to just understand. So 5 is not getting printed just because here I am printing system.out.println n minus 1. So for the first time, if 5 is getting as a input, so it's printing 4. Okay, and then it's doing fact of n minus 1, then fact of 4, then again it's going, then it will be printing 3, and then that way it is working, right? So what if I don't write return statement here? Let's see what is happening. Why this is the case? Or what if I just write else? Here I'm not writing return, but if I have written else block, okay, if I have written else block, it's doing the right thing, right? Did you get my point, what I'm trying to say? Are you guys okay?
Yes, Manish.
Okay, so my only point here, so every time, so I see very like thin line patterns are there. Okay, in case of system design we call design pattern, but I can say algorithmic pattern is also there, even if and else block, and in while loop lot of patterns are there. Just try to observe, and this pattern will be very helpful, like if you try to write and if you try to debug the code. So here I have not return is, if I write return, then if I write return and I remove the else block, okay, I remove the else block, it is working very good. Okay, here I written return, and here I am just writing fact of n minus 1. This is very good. Okay, but here if I remove the return, so if I remove the return, so this is this, for this if block, what I can see, this part of the code will be only executed if n is equal to 1, and this part of the code will be always executed whether n is 1 or anything. Okay, so if I'm not writing return here, then other thing I can do, I can write something like this. So if n is equal to 1, then this part of the code will be executed. Otherwise, this part of the code is restricted. Now, this two block of the code, this line of this statement and this two statement are like just opposite. If this is getting executed, this won't. If this will be executed, this won't be. So I hope now you understand the difference between if else and only if clause. And in recursion, this and the importance of writing return, even though this is void function, it's returning nothing. At that time also the importance of this one. Some people also try to write break. Okay, so here break outside switch or loop. Break is always okay. Now let me remove this else block. Okay, if anyone think of writing break, then this break is always within loop, outside switch or loop. Okay, so you can write break only in case of while loop, for loop or switch state. You cannot write break in case of if block, or you want to exit from some function execution. So you have only option to write return or exit. Exit will be like termination of the execution, or you can write some if and else block. I hope it makes sense to everyone. right? Now I can go back to the factorial function. Okay, so for the factorial function, it's very simple. If n is equal to 1, I'll return 1. Okay, so this is what, this is base condition. So we, whoever all joined recently, so this is the base condition. So in case of recursion, we always write three things. Okay, what all three things are there? Define hypothesis, write induction, and write base condition. Okay, so first here I have written the base condition. The best way is always try to write first hypothesis. So has the hypothesis is, if I have to calculate factorial of n, so if I know factorial of n minus 1, then I can get the factorial of n. That's good. Okay, so if I know the factorial of n minus 1, and what is the hypothesis? Hypothesis is just trying to reduce the input, size of the input, reduce the size of the input. If the size of the input is reduced, then automatically it will be easier to solve. So here n input was n, now my input is n minus 1. So if I can get the value of n minus 1, I can get the value of. So this is the hypothesis. And if I multiply this with factorial of n minus 1, if I multiply with n, then this will be the my factorial. Okay, so this will be the return statement. This will return. Now I have to write some base condition. What will be the base condition? If n is equal to 1, I'll just return 1. Right? Here I need to change to int because this was the case. So this is very simple. Some other people can write this thing only as this, else return n into factorial n minus 1. Both will be giving the same thing, right? Here I write system.out.println. So output of the both is same. Whether I write else block or not, it doesn't matter here. It will be giving 22. In both the function is always true. Okay, now it makes sense to every one of you. I hope so. Or any question, just let me know. Arijit, Kapil, Payal, Prabhakar, Rohan, Shubham, Sumit, Tushar, Vishnu. Yes, today so many people joined. That's good. Any question? Okay. So if that is very okay, so what you can do, okay, so this is one more problem, or this is the problem. Bunny, yes. Okay, the problem says we have bunnies standing in a line numbered 1, 2. The odd bunnies, like bunny number 1, bunny number 2, have normal 2 ears. Okay, the even bunnies having 2, 4, 6, 7, all the ears, 2, 4, 6, 8, all the even bunnies is having 3 ears. Okay, because they each have a raised foot. Okay, recursively return the number of ears in the bunny line. Okay, so the problem is something like this. This is again very simple problem, but to make our understanding clear, so we have bunnies standing like this. Okay, so this has 2 ear in line bunny number 1, but bunny number 2 is having 3 ears. Okay, this is having, this is 3 and this is having 2. Again, the bunny is 4 is having 3 years. Okay. So if you have 4 bunnies, so what will be the total number of years? So 3, 3, 2, 2, right? 6 plus 4, it will be 10. So total, how many number of years we have? 10. So you have to give output as 10. Okay. Try doing that. You have 5 minutes. Again, just follow this concept. So whoever is following me, I would always ask you to write in this pattern. First, define hypothesis. Always try to define hypothesis. What is hypothesis? Just try to reduce the input and see how it is working. And the second step is write induction, and third step is write base condition, and try to write it recursively. So we are learning recursion, and recursion is very, very important concept. And if you don't understand recursion, it is going to be nightmare for backtracking, dynamic programming, tree, problem solving on tree, graph. So just try to understand the basics of everything. Okay, someone is asking me to explain the question again. So question is, you have 4 bunnies, okay? So bunny number 1 and 3 is having 2 years, okay? 2 years. And bunny number 2 and 4 is having 3 years. So this is having 3 years, this is having 3 years. So you need to calculate how many years total we have. So we have 3 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2, right? So we have 10 years. What will happen if there is 2 more bunnies or 1 more bunnies? Okay, and let's say this is bunny number 5. Again, this will be having 2. So input may vary, right? So number of bunny may vary, but the only condition is giving odd bunny. Okay, odd bunny is having 2 years, odd bunny is having 2 years, and even bunnies is having 3 years. You need to calculate total number of years.
Done, sir.
Done? Okay, who is this? Kapil?
Yes, sir.
Great, good, good. And let me know like who is finding this difficult. Okay, I'll try to help him. Anyone here who is finding this problem difficult? Obviously for them like who is attending for the first time, obviously it will be difficult. So I have, my suggestion would be try to watch my last video. So it's already there on YouTube. Okay, so just watch that and I think you will get it for sure. Because in last class I have explained a lot how to write a hypothesis and induction and base condition, and this class is just for practice actually. So yeah, Still, if you are facing any problem, let me know. Yash, Vishnu, Tushar, Sumit, Subham, Rohan, Prabhakar, Payal, Karijit. Rohan done. Good. Yes. Stuck. How come here? Okay. Sumit, at least I'm checking with my like regular students first. Sumit, Shubham. So if I directly explain, you guys won't make it like easy. Like you guys may like it won't help you to write your own code. Like it will be just like remembering things. So I want you guys to practice first. Sumit, you are also stuck. Shubham. Okay. So you can think of termination condition is, so if you have attended, I think Arijit, you attended my previous classes, right? So that as part of termination condition, so what we have discussed is, so this is the number line, okay? So your input will be, so maybe this is 0 and this is going to n, this is going to minus n, right? So in this particular condition, we know for one bunny, I have 2 years. For two, I have three. For three, I have again for bunny number 1, 2, 3, I have two, something like that. So two way. Uh, I can think of the valid input, okay? The end condition of valid input. So the bunnies are in queue. So number 1, 2, 3. So I can have either two end condition, bunny number 1 and bunny number 2, right? Or I can say, so this is my valid input, right? This is my valid input. I can say like just immediate invalid input. So obviously if someone is standing in number line, there won't be the case like 0.5 number bunny. There is not the case, right? So I can predict or I can find it out. So the first invalid input is 0. So that could be also one terminating condition. So you have two conditions to terminate the program. Two way you can terminate. Either you can think of bunny number 1 and bunny number 2, or you can think of first invalid input. So first invalid input, and it is very clear or it is discrete. It's not like continuous value or in between it can happen. So the first invalid input is for sure 0, and that's what we have already discussed, right? How to write the base condition, in that I have discussed. On the number line, you need to decide the the lowest valid input, okay, lowest valid input, or the first invalid input. So the lowest valid input is 1 and 2, and the first invalid input is 0. So either of this you can pick as a terminating condition. Arijit, is it clear now?
Yes, Manish, clear.
Okay, that's good. So always, like, I'm just explaining very simple problem, but I want you guys to give a like idea how you can solve any recursive problem. It's not like remembering thing. Recursion is not like remembering thing. It's like it should come automatically from your mind. Like it's very easy actually. Just you need to understand the few things. So always when you are deciding input, that are thinking of base condition, yeah. So as a problem statement, in problem statement, try to find out the lowest valid input. So here is the number of bunnies. So number of bunnies in the number line, and it is starting from 1 to n. So the smallest possible input is either 1 or 2, that is valid input, or the first invalid. First invalid is 0, right? Because 0.5 is not possible. If someone asks you, let's say something like what is something continuous thing, let's say something like this. So maybe here on the surface, this is the number line, and maybe some weight is spread over like this. So weight is just increasing like this way. Weight is increasing. So this is the graph. Okay, and weight is increasing something like this. So this is not discrete, right? So values are there for 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. So if I ask you to get the first invalid thing, so it may be minus 0.000000000. It's like that. It will go till infinity. So you cannot, it is not discrete value, it's continuous value. So in case of discrete value, you can find your first invalid input. Okay. If you got the first invalid input, you can also write as a base condition. Or else, if this is the case, then just try to get the least valid input. That's the only thing. So base condition, I think who all joined the first day, I think you guys also understand what is the base condition for any recursive call. Now tell me how many of you are done. At least I want 50% of population. No, I think only 2. Rohan only did, and Kaushik. What about others? Yes. Now you tell me, what is your problem?
Manish, I'm getting output as 11.
For what is the input?
For 4.
Input 4, you are getting output 11. Okay, I'll see that. That's good. Vishnu? Tushar? Yeah. So did you try that?
No, I can do it in iterative only. I can't think recursively.
Yeah, so the topic is of discussion is like we want to solve anything recursively. Okay, so by iteration anyone can do, right? So that's not the point here. You need to do it recursively. The question is
Sorry. I can't think really about it.
Okay. What about Tushar? Yeah, no problem. I'll explain. What about Tushar? Sumit? If you guys are not able to do like this type of simple problem, then I find it very difficult to make you progress through tree and backtracking and other topics. That's the thing. So let's focus more time on this topic so that everyone get one best. Shubham, now you are done. Come on, guys. You can tell. Ah, what should I consider? Silence as? Yes, you can share your screen.
Yes, ma'am. Manish,
Yeah. Okay.
you stop.
Yeah, just stop.
Is it visible, Manish?
Yes.
This is the code, Manish.
Okay. So, so in case of even number, we have 3 bunnies. In case of odd number, we have 3 bunnies. Okay. Why is the last statement, last return you have written?
Uh,
Last line of the code, line number
like
41.
yes, like if it is 1,
Uh-huh.
for that it will be like 0 and it will get written 1.
Uh-huh.
So for that.
No, so last line of the code, line number 41, why have you written?
For one, like for one condition, if it is 1.
Then this will be considered by line number 37, right?
Okay. Yes.
Why that is needed?
Like, can I remove this now?
Yeah, obviously you should remove it,
Okay.
but it won't work.
Ah,
Okay.
yes, it has to return something.
Yes, then just return 0. Run it.
For 1, it is 3, which is correct. Like odd numbers are 3 and even numbers.
Yes, write 5 and get the output. For 3, it should show 5. For 2, it is showing 5.
1, it's 6.
For 2,
Yes, Manish, for 2.
then where you messed up.
For this, like it has to return 0, correct?
Correct.
For any.
Return
Yes.
0. I
Yes,
guess.
yes.
For no bunny, there should be
Correct.
no here.
Yes, correct. That one should not be the case. So that please make please ensure like you are writing the valid terminating condition, right?
Okay. Okay.
So in this case, what is the terminating condition? The terminating condition is from line number 29 to 32. Okay, so and what is for which I am terminating? First invalid input I am terminating. Okay, and what is hypothesis? Hypothesis is if I know bunny n minus 1, I can get bunny n. That is the hypothesis. But I have induction. Induction says if it is having even number of bunny, that is n modulus 2 is equal to 0, then I just need to add 3 years for that particular bunny. And there is another induction which says if it is having odd number of bunnies, then I just need to add 2. And that's why we have 2 return statement. Now the question comes here is why at the end you are returning something? Okay, so if you have to write this code, so if I see this code, I still maybe at logical point of view this last return is return 0 does not make any sense, right? But why that is needed?
Like to exit the function, like if it is f of 0, like if the input is 1, so for that, or if input is 0, for that we have to return.
No, so for 0, so the number is starting from 0 to n, right? And for
Yes.
every condition, I think in that 3 if block you have written, one is n is equal to 0. Number is either even, odd, or 0. Number cannot be other than that, right?
सर अगर नंबर ही बायस और नेगेटिव हुआ तो
Okay, that's quite valid question. Okay, yes. Just do one thing. Try to pass. Mute yourself, guys. Mute yourself. Okay. Yeah, just try to pass -2 as input.
This is failing, like Stack Overflow.
Yes. Got it? So the problem here is you are not, so the function, you are writing the function and you don't know what is the range of input, right? You don't know the range of input. So
Yes.
instead of writing 0, can you make less than equal to 0? And now try to run it.
Yes, it's returning 0 now.
Okay. The next thing, that's till now it's fine. Okay. Now are you still sure? So at this point of time, the value of return, so still line number 41 is not needed, right? We should not write line number 41, but it is still needed, right? Just try to remove that,
That will give an
right? So it is giving error. Why that is the case? I have covered almost everything in if else block, but why this is the case?
error. Manish, can I wait for the odd case and like make? Can I do that?
What you want to try to do?
So now it will work. For the even case, it will anyway call this one. For the odd, it will call this one.
Okay. Try to run it.
For 2, it has to, like, output has to be 5.
Correct.
It is for 4, it has to be 10.
Yes.
That's 10.
Yes. I think you got the answer.
Yes.
So what if you are passing null? What if you are not passing anything? Or just
I think
pass it null?
it won't accept. It won't accept. Why? Because I've made it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Try to pass 0.1.
सर 0.1 तो बंदे 0 हो जाएगा ना
What is the case? It is still not
cannot
accepted.
convert
Okay.
double into me.
Correct. Now your function is very correct. Okay. So your function is expecting int n. So whatever the range of int, it will be accepting, right? Now
Yes,
the
ma'am.
question is, now it won't accept any number other than int value, right? Whatever int value will be there, it will be accepted. That's good. Now just make it 2. Okay, make it 2. Yeah, as an input. Okay. So here yes has written 2 if block. Okay. I still want to write 3 if block, and I don't want to write one extra return, or why that extra return is needed. That's what is the question. Just try to find it out your own.
What, Manish? Like,
So-
can you repeat it again?
So just do if n modulus 2 not equal to 0, the third condition what you have written earlier.
The previous, like
The
for
previous,
the
yes,
odd case.
yes. Control Z, yeah. One more condition, if n modulus 2 not equal to 0, then you are returning, yeah, copy that one. So in this three if block, I am covering all the case, but still it is asking to write return state. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Why that is needed? So is it logical issue or it is the programming construct, and that we have to always follow?
I feel it is programming construct that we are supposed.
Yes, that's true actually. This is the programming construct and you have to always follow. Okay, so you have covered all the if condition, but still you need to return something. So in that particular condition, what you can return, you can either throw exception instead of returning. There you just write throw some exception. Okay. Yes. So now it's fine, right? It will work. So my suggestion would be always, if you are writing some code, if I am sure like I am covering all the if condition in this function, then why should I return anything, right? We should not return anything. We should throw exception. Whatever my assumption was, it is apart from that. And that time I will get to know like something happened or something I have not considered while I was writing the function. So always try to follow this construct. So that is the idea. I hope it's clear to everyone.
Yes, yes.
Okay. In any question now, any one of you, you can stop sharing it.
Manish, the induction part,
Yes.
it is like what we are doing in the function is known as like induction. Like if you are given an input 4,
Mhm.
like the previous time when I was like starting out with recursion, I was thinking like from 4 to 1, we are like we're reducing the input like n minus 1. It will become 3, then it will become 2, then it will become 1.
Mhm.
Like what exactly it is, like what induction exactly means, like what we are doing, or are we reducing the input side?
No, so I have explained it, right?
Yes.
Three thing as a part of hypothesis. Let me repeat it again. Okay. So I'm repeating it again and again so that it goes into your mind. So in this particular case, for case of bunnies, okay. So
Manish, your screen is not visible.
okay, let me share my screen. So this particular problem of bunnies, okay. So there are n bunnies, okay. There are n bunnies. For n modulus 2 is equal to 0, then we have 3 years, okay. And n modulus 2 is equal to 1, okay. We have 2 years. That's fine. So my input is n, okay. My input is n. That's fine. So if someone asks you if there are 100 bunnies, okay, if there are 100 bunnies, how many years are we have? It is very difficult to find. Okay, that's difficult. Okay. What if I get to know somehow how many years are there if we have 99 bunnies? Then we can get how many years we have if we have 100 bunnies. Yeah, if someone tells, yeah, in case of 99, we have, let's say, 1,000 years. Okay. So obviously, if there is one more bunnies and that is at 100th position, so if 100 is this case, right? So 1,000 plus 3 will be the total number of years. Did you get my point? Okay. I know, like, yeah, if someone tell me how many years we have, if I have 99 bunnies, okay. The now problem again arises. It's very difficult to compute this value. It's very difficult to compute this value. So I would say if someone can tell me how many years we have if I have 98 bunnies, okay. So these guys say maybe let's say 99998, okay. This many years we have in case if I have 98 bunnies, then I can say this 998 plus 2 will be the total number of years if we have 99 bunnies. So once we are getting, so the thing is again, so if you someone ask you what is the total sum of the number from 1 to 100, okay, sum of the number from 1 to 100, okay, so you can say, yeah, Mr. X, please let me know what is the sum till 99. Then I can tell you what will be the sum of 1 to 100. Okay, someone tells, yeah, till 99 you have some, let's say X, then you will only say, yeah, then if you have 100 number, then you will have X plus 100 will be the total sum. So this step is called induction. And reducing, you are reducing the input from 100 to 99, then 99 to 98, from 98. This is called hypothesis. And I have explained about the base condition as well. I think this is the best I can explain this. I'm not sure like how I can explain it.
Yes, Manish, this was very much clear.
Yes, is it clear to you? Okay. Now, yes, got it. Just a second. Okay, let's solve 4-5 problem. You guys can make it, I'm sure. So in the beginning, it was difficult for me as well. So it's not a problem. Okay, I'm going to the third problem. So given a non-negative int n, so the question is, just try to read. Given a non-negative int n, return the count of occurrence of 7 as a digit. So for example, 717 is to no loops. Note that percent modulus by 10 yields the rightmost digit. 126 modulus 10 is 6. While divide by 10 remove the rightmost digit. Okay, it's very simple. So you have to calculate how many 7 are there in a number. Okay, so let me explain it a bit clearly so that you can make it. So you have something like this, 7177. So you have to get how many 7 are there. Okay, and it's not a string, just for reminder, it's not a string, it's a number. Okay, so we know 2-3 things. If you are if you are doing modulus operator, right, anything divided by modulus of 10, it will be giving you the rightmost digit, right? It will giving you 7. And if you 7177 divided by 10, if you are doing, so what it will give? It will give you 717, right? 0.7 it should be, but point should be removed. If it is an int value, then it will be giving you 717. So this is the best way, like many, like once you are learning the any language, then this is very well-known problem to get the like sum of all digit problem, right? Sum of all digit problem. So if someone asks what is the sum of 1 to 3, okay, 1 to 3, 123 is given, and you need to get what is the sum of this. So it will be 3 plus 2 plus 1, so it should be 6. So this is very famous concept. So the problem says you need to get, so this particular case, how many 7 are there? 3 7 are there. So if I have only 7, then I have 1. If we have 1 2 3, how many 7 are there? 0. If we have 0, then I have 0 7, right? So you need to get, and you don't need to use loop here. Okay, you don't need to use loop here. No need to use loop. So what is your option? Your option is recursion. How you can recursively do it? So you need to find your base condition, you need to find your hypothesis, you need to find your induction. If you guys can do it, you can do any recursive problem. If you are not able to do, we will solving many more problems. So you have 5 minutes, or I'll give you 10 minutes this time. So I'll start from 11:40.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
सर क्या आप इसको अगले वाला वाला क्वेश्चन बता देंगे एक बार?
What you are saying?
काउंट 8 जो है इसका अगला क्वेश्चन जो है काउंट 8.
Count X.
8.
Where is count 8? Huh? So this one.
Yes, sir.
Okay, first try to solve this one. I'll try to solve maximum problem of this one. Then only, even if I'm not helping you to solve, so you guys just, I'll share the link. Try to solve all this problem on recursion. After that, I'm not sure why so much echo is coming here. I'll help you guys. Don't worry. So try to solve. If you're not able to solve, I'll help you. Any update? Anyone able to do it or not?
Yes, sir.
Great.
Oh, yes. Manish, like I was trying, but let him continue first. Let Kapil.
Okay, that's fine. Very good, very good going, Kaushik. Rijit, Rohan, Sumit.
I'll let you
Manish,
know.
I tried, but I'm getting a Stack Overflow error.
Okay, that's good. Okay, at least you are getting something. Then you are progressing. Okay. If you are not getting anything, if you are not able to figure out how to solve, then this is problem. Rohan is also done. That's good. Yeah. Okay. I'll help you. Rohan, Kapil done. What about Arijit? Doing?
Yes, Manish. Done. I'm writing the code. A few minutes.
Okay, sure. I'll give you 2-3 more minutes.
Okay.
Okay, that's good. Good progress here. At least these 5-6 people. I think one guy, I forgot his name. He used to join always. Like since last 2 class, he's not joining. He was also very regular.
It was Shubham. Manish.
Shubham today was there. Shubham was there today, but I think he left. Okay,
One
one
other
more.
name was also there, Mayur.
Mayur, yeah,
Mayur.
Mayur. Yeah, I forgot his name actually. Mayur was very regular. Since last 2 class, he is not joining. If someone comes suddenly and think, yeah, I can solve anything, then this is not possible. Coding is like you need to have patience. You need to do lot of practice actually. Then only you can make it.
Manish will be able to, like, in future, not now. Given any problem, we will be able to code, right, in future. Whenever-
Obviously. So if I think 2 to 3 more months, just practice with me. You will feel the confidence. I
Like
won't.
how much time to dedicate to, like, for every day? How much time should we practice?
I would say like only on weekend. Just try to give apart from this class. Just try to give 4 more hours max,
Okay.
and try to do this thing for 1 year. 1 year, at least 1 year. Then only
Like
I can say like yeah, you can solve any lead code problem.
all the basics first, we should be strong.
Yes.
then move it.
Yeah. So if you are strong with the basic, then there is no so-called tough problem. It's
Okay.
because you don't know basic, you cannot attempt the tough one. That is the main thing. Okay. Sumit, you are facing some Stack Overflow. So okay, we'll figure it out. Where is
Yes.
your Stack Overflow
Let me
coming?
share my screen.
I'm not able to see. Try to share it again.
Yeah, I just started.
Yes. Okay, you guys are trying here only.
My screen?
Okay, you are trying here only. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like I took one count variable, okay, which
Uh-huh.
will keep the count of this
Uh-huh.
7. And like, hey, this is my base condition. And suppose if I am getting, here I am checking, like if it is equal to 7, is a mod of this equal to 7, then I am incrementing the count. And here I am returning it.
You are not able to make your induction good. Okay. I got it. Okay. Okay. I'll help you. Don't worry. So just do one thing. Just write 1 plus in wherever you are writing count plus plus. Okay. There write 1 plus count 7. Copy the last line, last return statement.
This one.
Yes,
Okay.
copy that whole line return. Yeah, copy that, cut it and paste. Yeah, paste instead of count plus plus.
Okay, complete line.
Yes.
Okay.
And there do 1 plus count 7 is after return. Okay, and instead of n is equal to 1, you can make n less than equal to 1 also. Okay, now give a try. Let's see.
Okay, one more return I have to do.
Yes, so else just do count 7. Else just return count 7 and modulus 10.
And modulus 1.
No, and divided by 10, not modulus.
Okay.
Okay, just try executing it. Okay, now I'll help you where you are missing. Okay, why you are facing difficulty. I got you actually. What problem you are facing, I got you. Okay.
Manish, even I have the same problem. Like induction.
You are not making. Yes. Okay. Okay, got you. That's good actually. Actually, if I am taking live class, now I can make it where you are facing the problem. Kapil, Rohan, you are doing the great job. I'm very happy. Okay, now let me help with Yash and Sumit. Okay, let me share my screen. Yeah, if you can make the hypothesis and induction for 6-7 problem, you will do it. Now your problem is
what I feel is, Manish, like base condition will be easy to crack first. What the induction and the hypothesis.
No. Yeah, that is fine, but I'm not interested in like first writing the easy thing. In the computer programming world, what I feel, even in my real life, so if I have been given some assignment, okay, so writing something, some code or something, my first target is I just try to figure it out. What is the toughest part of the code? Okay, I crack that first. Once that is cracked, rest all are like just I'm enjoying the whole day to writing something. So what I do generally I'm just giving you my example. So I got one assignment, one enhancement, something like that. So I first try to crack the toughest part. I crack it first. Okay, I write code for that. And after that, just like adding bricks on your building. It's like it's very easy job. Okay. So the toughest part of this problem is, so I need to given, let's say 7176547 is the number. Okay, this is the number and I need to get how many 7 are there. Okay, so this is not a string as of now. This is one number, integer. So you cannot do like loop or something. So it's number. So if it is a number, then how we can process the number? So I have already explained in the beginning. So if you do modulus, okay, so you can get the rightmost number. Okay, if I do modulus of this number, I'll get this 7. Okay, so if this is processed, so this is the number, so you can get the rightmost. How you can get the all the left? So how you can partition this integer? So to partition this integer, I have two operator. One is modulus operator, one is divide operator. So modulus operator will give me the rightmost digit and divide operator will give me the all the digit what is on the left. That is good. So one thing I cracked, this is cracked. So anytime I have given 717, so if I have to partition into two parts, so I'll do one modulus operator. This will give me 7 and 71 will be giving this divide operator. So this I cracked. Once this is cracked, so my next thought process would be, okay, I need to get how many 7 are there. Okay. So if someone can tell me, here is the 7, if someone can tell me how many 7 are from here to here, then I can decide if this number is 7, then let's say someone tells me here we have 3 7. Okay, here we have 3 7, right? And now based on checking this number, I can say there is no more 7. So total number of 7 will be 3. Okay, but someone has to tell this will be the number of how many number will be there in this part. Okay, so the hypothesis, can I write count 7 int n? Okay, int n, always write this way, guys, like so it will help you when once you are writing for backtracking and other. So count 7 int 5 int of n, then you can say I'll get count 7 n divided by 10, because first I'll get this part of the how many 7 is there. Okay, so once this is the case, then I'll crack divide into two parts. So how many 7 are there? So this is actually my hypothesis. So how you are making your input smaller? So I am making my input smaller 71767 just by dividing. Divide operator is helping me to reduce one more digit. So one divide operator will make number of digit, number of unit or number of digit in a number one less. Again, one divide operator will less to 3. One more, it will make it 2. One more, it will make it to 1. So this is actually hypothesis. Okay, that's why I told if you can crack this problem, it will be easier in other problem.
Manish, can I just interrupt for 1 second?
Yes, sure.
Do you have your Gmail open? I sent you my actual logic pick. Can you just check your Gmail once?
Okay,
I'll
do that later. Once let me finish this one. Sure, I'll
okay, I mean, and just this programming logic. How do I break the number from bigger to smaller? I did a recursion just like you did in binary trees. I mean, in binary search, we break the numbers from bigger to smaller. So can you just open this for just 1 second? I just sent you the pic on Gmail.
You are not able to share a screen, or what is the case?
Oh, sure. Can I share my screen? Oh, no, actually, I made it on my board. I mean, in my copy.
Okay. Gmail.
Oh, I could have sent it in WhatsApp group, but it's only moderator.
Which email ID you send? Manish?
Manish.it.tweet@gmail.
Where you guys, let me stop sharing first. This is my mail. Doing recording as well. Oh, guys, don't ask me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have sent it in WhatsApp, but it's moderator only, so
don't.
Sorry for that.
Okay, that's fine. That is recursive tree. That is right. Anytime you can draw. That is not the problem.
Okay.
So here, so I just need to make my input smaller, right? So that is my concern.
Yeah.
Okay. So this n divided by 10 will definitely make my input smaller by 1 digit. So this is hypothesis. So count 7 int n. I want to do count 7 n by 10. That's good.
Manish,
Yes.
Manish, 1 minute.
Yeah.
Like we have to design a hypothesis in such way that it will make the input smaller, correct?
Correct. Yeah. So I am calling this count 7. Again, I am this calling count 7. But this time you can say the number of digit in n and number of digit in n by 10. There is something reduced. Input size got reduced, right?
Got it.
Okay. So this part, I think it is very clear. So this is called hypothesis. Okay. So once this is done, what next you can do? My next part is writing induction. Okay. So as part of induction, what I told, if I know the number of 7 in this part of the code, okay. So let's say number of 7 in this part of the code is X. And I'll check if this number is 7, okay, if this number is 7, then I'll add 1 plus X. And if this number is not 7, then I'll add 0 plus X. What do you say? Is it fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So in this function only, if I write count 7 int n, then I have if n, so that is n, right? This is the last number. So this is the total number. How I can get this number? So to get this number, I have to use modulus operator. So if this is equal to 7, then what I'll return? 1 plus count of 7. Count 7 of n divided by 7. Okay. Else, what I'm going to do? If not equal to 7, then I'll return 0 plus or directly count of 7 n divided by 7. Now my induction is also ready. So once induction is ready, I'll write the base condition. Okay. How I can write the base condition? So it will keep on doing till let's say, yeah.
Isn't it we count 7 n by 10? Like to
Count
guess the-
7 n. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, I written 7. Okay. Yeah, it will be n by 10. Yeah. Sorry for this silly mistake, but it will be obviously n by 10 here also. Okay, I'm dividing by 10. So what will be the base condition? So base condition will be, so what will be the minimum input you will be getting at the end? So if there is only single digit, okay, so you can crack it, right? If there is single digit, then you can crack it. So if you divide any single digit divided by 10, then it will be 0.7, right? Because you are dividing. So if any number will be becoming 1 or less than 1, okay, I would say better write less than 1, then obviously there won't no need to count. So you can do n is less than equal to 1, then you just return 0. Okay, let me go to my code first, and then I will tell you. If n becoming less than 1, then I'll return 0. If n modulus 10 is equal to 7, then I'll do 1 plus count 7 n by 10. Else I'll do return 0 plus count 7 n by 2. And here this is the example, so it should return 0. It will be returning 0. Here I can replace 2 number with 7 7 or 8 7 6. Then it will be returning 3. I hope it makes sense to you guys.
Manish, one doubt.
Yes.
I don't know whether this is possible or not. If it is like if the question is given like to count 0, then
How
then
many?
the base condition, like I am just asking, I don't know whether this will work out or not. I'm
Okay.
just asking.
Try it your own.
Okay.
Okay.
Then the base condition will change, correct?
You try it with this question, this thing only, and see how you can modify your base condition. So I cannot help you solve every problem. So I can help you to write your logic, right? So now you can write your own logic, how you can solve that problem if 0 is coming. Okay, let's move to the next question or any
But
other.
in
Yeah,
this condition, if you are giving n less than 7,
n less than 7. Okay,
yeah,
okay,
then
that
also it will work.
obviously it will work, no doubt about it, it will work. But my assumption here is the better you write the base condition, it will be always error free. So the least number I can pass is single digit I can pass. So anytime suppose someone asks, check number of 1, number of 2, number of 3, number of 4. Obviously, yes question was very valid question. Then I don't need to modify my code. Okay, if I am writing n is equal to 1, here I'll just modify the digit. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But here you can write 7 also. You can write even uh, yeah, you can write minimum number is 7, the minimum possible input. But I can write 1 as well. The reason is if you are passing less than 1, then obviously I will be returning 0. So that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And you can draw the number line there also. You can think how we can write 1 or what should I write. Okay.
Yeah.
So problem with that, if you are writing 7, so there will be the scenario. So okay, you can write it, but no problem, it will work. But yeah, that is practice. Actually my practice is like always write 1.
Okay.
Okay, I think any other doubt?
No, sir.
That's great. Okay, let's move to the next question. Which
Sir, count
one?
eight wala.
Count 8. क्या है यार ऐसा problem जो you are excited? Given a non-negative integer and compute recursively the count
Once you
of all.
started the recording, right?
Huh?
You started the recording back again, right? Like you stopped before exit.
Sure. Let me check. It's getting recorded.
Okay.
Okay. Count the occurrence of 8 as a digit, except that 8 without another 8 immediately. To its left, count double. So 8818 is 4. 881884 is 4. Okay, except an 8 with another 8 immediately. To its left, count double. Okay, it's all about, there is nothing in this problem, it's all about the wordings. It's just confusing it.
ये कि अगर पहला 8 आया उसके बाद अगर अगला 8 है तो उससे पहले काउंट डबल हो जाएगा.
Correct. Yes.
लेकिन ये समझ में आया था कि अगला वाला में कैसे करनी.
Except at an 8 with another 8 immediately to its left. Oh, nothing, yeah. Try it. Okay, you want to try, then try this one only. But there is nothing in this problem. I think you are finding difficult. I'll explain this to you, Kaushik. Don't worry. Okay. So let's solve first 1-2 more problem that is different kind of problem. Okay. So it is the similar to this one. Just don't solve similar problem. It's all about the wordings, how you understand the English. There is nothing than that. Okay, so let's solve a different problem. Okay, and the different problem is power of n.
Bye.
Okay, given base and n that are both 1 or more, compute recursively the value of base to n power. So power of n, 3 to the power of 2 is n, 3 squared. Okay, 3 to the power 1, 3, 3 to the power 2, 9, 3 to the power 3 is 27. You need to compute this one, power function. This is very common problem. Better solve this one. So this is, I don't think anything is there except that wordings. So don't try to solve this type of problem. So no one will be giving you such type of problem where wordings is only important. Okay, but I'll solve this one also. Don't worry. Okay, so try to solve this power function. You just need to compute the power. Okay, you have 10 more minutes.